So, we're halfway through the season. It's been a very surprising season. I think we can all say that just to begin with. So, if I was to take 6 players from me, from the big 6, one from each team that have surprised me the most, this is who I would pick. Now, surprising the most, I would put in a positive sense. I could do this in a negative sense as well in another video, but in terms of positive sense, here's who I would pick. For Arsenal, for me, easy, it's been Rice. I don't really think there's been another player that has surprised me just how well they've done. If I was to look for, Ben White's dropped off, Zinchenko's dropped off, Saliba has stayed at a consistent quality, Gabriel has impressed me a little bit, but not as much. Erdegaard's been so flaky, and I could keep going on, but the one who's impressed me the most is Rice, and how he's just turned up in this system, new players, and he's looked as if he's been there for years. It has been really impressive. For Chelsea, I have to apologise and say this, but Cole Palmer, because I made a video, you can go back and find it, when he moved to Chelsea, we've got the Here We Go, and I said it would be the worst 45 million or whatever it was spent by Chelsea, and all Chelsea fans were saying to me, no, he's going to be a baller and all this sort of stuff, and I didn't see it. I didn't see that project in him, and he's been brilliant. He has been possibly the only shining light in that Chelsea team. How they're still 10th, which is embarrassing, but he has been exponentially better than I expected him to be. So I will hold my hands up and I will say, Cole Palmer, you have been the biggest surprise in that Chelsea team for me. For Liverpool, I think the one I want to go for, out of anyone, is probably Endo. And the reason why is, when he signed, I think a lot of teams, like the so-called bigger teams, all went, he's nothing, he's a backup option. And through injuries, he's forced his way in, and he's looked the part. You know, we all knew how good someone like Szoboszlai was, or McAllister, or players of that calibre. With Endo, he really wasn't given that sort of top-tier status. And while he's not been, I would say, he's not been amazing, but he's definitely been like, hold on a minute, he's actually helped Liverpool get to the top of the league now. They are now clear at the top, and I think he is one of the reasons why they are there. So for me, for Liverpool, it's Endo. With Man City, it's a difficult one because, without De Bruyne, they have looked not as comfortable. And whereas players like Bernardo Silva and Foden have definitely picked them up in that case, they've still obviously not looked the best. If I'm going to say one, I will go for Doku. And I think the reason is because for me, he sends me back to a time where wingers had one goal. And that was just beat your man. Beat your man, cross the ball, and if it goes in, it goes in. Like, it gives you that old school feeling when you watch him play. The way he just runs at people, he's so quick, he's got such a low centre of gravity, you don't expect him to do certain things, and he just does them. He's got an injury, which is annoying for him, because he was on a really good roll. But yeah, I can't really think of a surprise for me for City, I think, other than him. I know he's a 60 million surprise, so it's a lot of money, but I don't think people expect him to take to the Prem as quickly as he did. So for City, I'm going to go for Jeremy Doku. In terms of Manchester United, much like sort of Chelsea, they've been really disappointing this season. And the only reason this lad is the most surprising is because of injuries and stuff like that. And that is going to be Kobbie Mainoo, an 18-year-old kid who, let's be honest, most managers nowadays, they don't want to trust youngsters. They'd rather play a player in a different position. I'm looking at you, Ange. Rather than giving a young kid a chance to express themselves and give themselves a shot in the first team. But Mainoo came in and within 2 games cemented himself as the best midfielder Manchester United had this season. And look, he's made a mistake or two. Every player does that. But he's 18 years of age and he's been playing like he's about 10 years his elder. You know, he's been really impressive, and I think he's just going to continue to grow. And I think if they do end up moving on, Amrabat ain't going to stay. Eriksen will probably end up leaving soon. I can see Casemiro going. Mainoo can make that midfield spot his own. So for me, Manchester United is Kobbie Mainoo. And for Tottenham, there's a few I could pick. I could do, as some Tottenham fans have said, and gone for Son because they all wrote him off last season. I think that's just disrespectful. I think the one for me, there is 2, and this sounds the bias because I'm a Tottenham fan, but it's either Pedro Porro or it's Pape Matar Sarr. Now, Pedro Porro had a decent return, 3 goals and 3 assists, but defensively was very poor last season. And this season, in a formation where he's allowed to just manoeuvre up the pitch. He ends up playing centre forward half the times. He has been immaculate on that right hand side, possibly top 2 right backs this season in terms of everyone. Just because he just gets the way the team wants to play. And the other one for Sarr, I don't think anyone saw just how good Sarr was. Even Tottenham fans didn't. Like, in the few games he played last season, I mean, he played a North London derby 3 games into his Tottenham career and was probably the best player on the pitch for Tottenham, that is. And this season, he's just gone on leaps and bounds. He's added goals, he's added assists. He just looks the part as a modern-day number 8, just up and down, winning tackles, linking play. He has been amazing. So if I had to pick out of them 2, I'm probably going to pick Sarr just because he has... I think I knew the quality Porro had watching him at Sporting, but for me, I didn't expect this level of quality from Sarr. So Tottenham, it's Sarr. So for all the teams, Arsenal, it's Rice. Chelsea, it's Palmer. Liverpool, it's Endo. Manchester City, it's Doku. Man United is Mainu. And Spurs is Pape Matar Sarr.